So, hey everyone. I hopefully say hey to everyone. Gonna state the obvious, I guess, right from the get-go. I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone, so I'm not even sure if I'm gonna show anybody this video or whatnot. Anyway, we'll see how it goes on my end and go from there. Believe it or not, this is meant to be a funny thing. What I'm maybe trying to do here is, I guess I'll give you a little bit of background. I've done a little bit of stand-up comedy, maybe half a dozen times of open mics. I've been writing stuff, just jotting things down, and just it's been an interest of mine, I think, ever since I was a teenager or whatnot like that. So I've never had a whole lot of opportunity over the years to get up on stage. I always wanted to, but basically it was nothing but excuses that got in the way. So anyway, I'm trying a different approach here. I guess what my plan here is, what I'm going to call, I guess, the process of comedy, or a comedy bit on my end, and probably a lot of people who write and eventually get up on stage. And what I mean by that is, from the first time a thought or a bit or a skit comes into your head, taking it from there and elaborating on it or adding to it, deleting to it or whatnot, and then eventually, like I said, getting it on stage. So what I'm going to do here, as starting for a get-go, over the years, I've jotted stuff down, as I'm sure many have, or aspiring comics or open micers. Over the years, you get these thoughts. Like I said, they just pop into your head sometimes. Jot them down, and then later on, if I get to them, I elaborate on them or put them all into a book or whatnot. So, as another thought came into my head the other day when I was painting, which I'm going to tell you about in a second, is the main one that I'm going to maybe work through, since it's the freshest one and the newest one, and hopefully take it to stage. Yeah, so kind of see how it is, and then I'm going to go through a few of these. And so, again, what I plan to do is read what I have here. So most of these are undone. They're just maybe thoughts that popped into my head. Like I said, over the years, I wrote them down. I maybe added to them, come back to them. I do have probably some skits or bits that I've done on stage, like I said, maybe half a dozen times over the years. So anyway, I'm going to go through them, and over the process of time, hopefully only a couple months, but I am a procrastinator, and videotape here and there, the odd time, of what I'm going through and what probably a lot of, again, aspiring comics go through to get to that stage, from the first time you get that thought, that funny thought in your head, to doing it on stage and hopefully getting some laughs. So with that being said, my first one is, it just happened the other day, actually. That's how I wanted to get going on this right away, again, while it's fresh in my head, and I haven't added a whole lot to it. Again, I want to do this process. So I was painting at a customer's house there last week or a couple of weeks ago, and it was just on a small hobby farm. And as I was painting one day, she had a couple of miniature horses there, and of course, the horse was taking a piss, and the miniature horse, was taking a piss. This is a big part of the story, or the funny part that popped in my head, was taking a piss, and then his long fucking horse cock was there, or mini horse cock, right? So here's what I went through. I was up on a ladder, I heard the horse, and I looked down, and I seen him taking the piss in this, and then I just started laughing to myself and said, mini horse cock. So again, here's the process that went through my head at the time, and it's kind of going through now, of how I'm going to start with this. And it just happened within probably 2 minutes. Well, actually, I was giggling all day, but this first little bit happened within 2 minutes. I seen the miniature horse cock, and then I thought, okay, it's a mini horse cock, not a horse cock. Me growing up with my buddies and stuff, seen lots of my friends' dicks, not gay or nothing, but it's just the way we were growing up. Some have bigger ones than us. So, sometimes you call somebody's like, hey, horse cock, and that was a compliment, right? You would think that would be a big compliment. But then I started thinking, actually it wouldn't be, or it's not, because a horse cock is a little bit too big, right? If you had a big cock and, say if it was on a human body, it would be just a little bit too big. So it's not really a compliment, or I don't see, but a miniature horse cock, that's probably the right size for a human being to have, right? It's not too big, it's not too big like a real horse cock, it's a miniature horse cock. So maybe if I could go back in time, instead of calling our buddies or anybody in the future, instead of saying a compliment of saying, hey, there's horse cock. No, it's like, hey, there's mini horse cock. Okay? So that's how I kind of started, just something like that. I think it's funny. I think there's more there. So yeah, so that probably happened. Again, up on the ladder, looked at a miniature horse, seen the cock. Yeah, I think cocks are funny sometimes. And just kind of started with this bit and thinking, okay, I think this can go somewhere. And hopefully someone can relate to it. So that's that one. So again, that only happened about a week ago, this couple weeks ago, that this thought came into my head. I jotted it down as soon as I got whatever that day. I jotted a little bit down, basically just what I told you. I thought about it more that day. You know, if you forget about it a bit, then you kind of go back to it, maybe jot a little bit more down. But anyway, like I said, I'm just going to act on it more, and that's probably one of the main ones that I want to follow through if I keep doing these videos and get up on stage. So anyway, like I said, there's a few bits, you know, some bits are 2 minutes, some you can make 20 minutes, depending on the audience, depending on how you write it and go and whatnot like that. So I'm just going to go through a couple of these before I end it off, and then, you know, hopefully by the end I'll have maybe 4 or 5 or some of these and get up on stage, hopefully get up on stage and see. Like I said earlier, one of my main not fears, I don't mind being up on stage. When I get there, it's getting there, it fucking near kills me. It's a funny story. I actually fainted one time before I went up on an open mic. I just in the bathroom, just before I was about to go up on stage, I worked myself up. I was prepared, I had everything done, but usually the first 4 or 5 times that I went, I didn't go in right away. I would, like, you know, kind of wait to the last minute, just as soon as the show was starting, to see the other comics in the opener, and then go and do my thing, right? But this time I went way too early. I went with my girlfriend, and we had supper there, like in the environment beforehand, and I worked myself up way too much, and it was fucking, now I laugh at it, but fuck, man. And anyway, yeah, I remember going into the mirror and kind of in the bathroom and in the mirror maybe 10 minutes before I was the second guy on, 10 minutes before I was supposed to go on, looking in, holding on, and I felt myself about to faint, so I just lowered myself to the ground, and I was fucking out. And another comic, Jerry, a black guy named Jerry, I remember just waking up, and he was waking me up, and he said, "Man, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Anyway, yeah, so it's a lot of nerves. So like I said, I hope this video and stuff will prompt me to follow through on some stuff, because I've wanted to get up more over the years, but excuses just kept getting me. Anyway, so yeah, so that's one of the bits, and like I said, I'm going to look at a few stuff that I've written lately or over the years or whatnot, and then relate on. Okay, here's something I have here. So this is stemming from, I won't use any names here, but people watching this, or some guys might, my brother-in-law, who's very, people say they're ADHD and ADD, and people throw that around a lot and whatnot, but this guy fucking is, and here's a good example. So we were working another time, this is a few months ago, and he was telling me how he hates a dirty bathroom. He hates a dirty bathroom. So he was about to get in the shower one day, he was saying, and while he was waiting for the shower to turn warm or whatever, he noticed the toilet was dirty. So he starts fucking cleaning the toilet. I'm laughing because how long does it take for a shower to turn warm? I don't know, 10 seconds? So I'm just thinking, he's so sitting there taking the shower, and he sees a dirty toilet. He's like, this is a perfect fucking time to clean the toilet. Now, that, my friends, is ADHD or a multitasker. That's a very good multitasker. And that's all I have written on that. I don't even have that much. I just have, I think I explained a little bit more, but that's pretty good. I'm going to try to add to that too, or work it in with something else. Some bits are bigger than others. Some you can add more to, and smaller. So I hope to add that one in too. So we'll see. We'll see how we get with that one. I have a couple of one-liners. I don't want to kind of read the one-liners now, because I'll do them at a show at one point, and you'll see them then. Parallel Park TV is getting reality shows. Yeah. Okay, here's another one. I know a lot of people don't like to hear about kids you know, when you're at a comedy show or comics talking about their kids and stuff. But I gotta, one of my boys is hilarious because he's kind of got a potty mouth and the finger stuff, but he, you know, not in a mean way. Because he is funny, but he knows he's funny, right? He mostly just does it around my girlfriend and I and my other son. So he does this stuff that's pretty funny. I could probably write a whole thing about, well, all my kids, but specifically this one fucking firecracker. So this is what I started here. So another time it popped in my head was we were sitting watching TV. We were watching an old episode of Friends, and you know that was on what, I don't know, 20 years ago or something like that. My boys are only 8 and 9 now. So I thought it's neat that they're watching the shows that we used to watch, and they're actually into them. They're really into them. But I'm not watching. I don't look at it now from my point of view. I guess I'm looking at it at their eyes and or from their perspective. And what I mean by that is, or I'm looking at it differently now, is now when I watch it with my kids, of course, one of them always has a smart ass mark, or usually has a smart ass mark. So one episode was when Phoebe was doing the smelly cat. I'll never look at that episode the same again, because just all of a sudden, you know, smelly cat, what are they feeding you, or something like that? And that's how it is. Anytime I heard that over the years, every now and then somebody would sing it, or a random party, blah blah blah. You know, it's one of those staples that stick in your mind from a show from the past. Or just sitting on stage and just doing it with the acoustic guitar. But now, my son, every time I visualize, because he gets up and he's, smelly cat, everything is the fucking hip thrust for an 8-year-old kid. So, I don't know, maybe that's just a parent thing or something, but anyway, I don't look at it the same way. He does a few other stuff that I might add to it, but every time I hear smelly cat now, I just picture a little kid doing a fucking thrust. Fucking clown. Hey, there's that miniature horse cock thing. Yes, I use the word cock. What else we got here? I wrote this a long time ago about, I don't know if I'll do any more on that. No, that's a baby shower. But you know what? And what I do is, and what I have to, and I'm sure a lot of people do, is I've kept stuff from the past because maybe they weren't going to be funny back then, but maybe this is the time for it, or you thought of another angle on it, or to put it on it. And this might be what this is. When my girlfriend was pregnant the first time with our first kid, I remember a buddy telling me, don't buy it. In our circle of friends and where I live here in the world with a little PEI, we're pretty close knit. He said, don't buy anything for your kid. You'll get everything bought from family and friends. You'll get which was true. And we had diaper tree. My girlfriend had, you know, a party at work, or a couple parties at work, a couple for the family, just bombarded with, you know, diapers and food and clothes and just everything, really. So I kind of got the idea from that. So, you know, so I started thinking about, so even when she was, the baby was in her belly, right? I started thinking of, it's a little bit overwhelming. It's a little bit too much that people just, before the baby's born, they just kind of start throwing me the gifts. My fetus even, this kind of going into the bit, my fetus even has an electric shaver already, you know? Like, what fetus needs an electric shaver? Yeah, so that's something. Riches, what do I have here? I'll just read what I have here, written down here on the back of my girlfriend's pregnant photo. So this is quite old. Baby on the way, already had 3 celebrations in his honor. He's only a fetus and already has an accumulation of gifts and stocks and bonds. I have the richest fetus in Atlantic Canada. He even has his own electric shaver. What fetus needs his own electric shaver? I don't know. Maybe I will do more on that. Anyway, yeah, so that was written a while ago. Weed store. This is a new one too. Well, not sort of new, but Canada, obviously, cannabis and weed is legal now. I've been buying weed for a lot longer than it's legal. I still kind of get the giggles when I go into a legit store. It's very professional. And actually, I was standing in line maybe a few months ago and thinking about this, is the analogy or the comparison from the weed stores that I used to go to, right? You know, there's just quite differences. It's not as well lit. You know, basically open 24 hours. It's a hit or miss. They don't always have stock. Prices goes up and down. You know, sometimes it's shady. You know, different clientele. location change, there's a few things like that. I think I will keep that in mind. I think will elaborate on that because I think more about it. And again, it's just on how you deliver it or how you add to it, I guess. So hopefully we'll do that. We'll maybe see that at the end. What's this stuff? This looks like an old bit that I may have done in the past. Oh yeah, kind of about my kids again. Any parents out there? I'll probably do this too. Car seats, fucking brutal. Women, well, I shouldn't say this. Women don't know, but my girlfriend couldn't relate to this because I don't think she's ever switched them. So we have 2 kids, a year apart, 13 months apart, and way back when we were switching from my car to her car to the grandparents' car, and made me pay these and stuff. So, and if anybody has ever put one of those in properly or how you're supposed to properly put them in, they are a bitch to do. Man, anyway, so I think I did. I might have done this on stage, or I put a submission in for a show or something like that. But so I guess my bit was going into is these are so hard to come in that it might almost be worth it to put your kid's life on the line and not buckle them in properly to go. Some people might not find the money funny, but again, how you go in? No, I'd never do that. But like I said, it's just one of those most frustrating things is to ever to do that. And you got to use you got to use your whole body part, not just your mind. You got your elbow up here, you got your knee pushing in, you got your teeth pulling on the other seatbelt. Like it's really that fucking bad. That when my kids turned a certain age, it was pretty good. Oh, another one. Homeless, and I will follow through on this, on homeless people. One of these I did a long time ago, or started jotting it down, not writing, a long time ago, and one I just added to about a year ago, watching homeless people. And one was, I'm not going to go too much into this because I do have a lot written on it, so I just more so want you guys to see the end result of it. The homeless men, they're not like they are, I guess, maybe back in the day. Like homeless people, it's misleading because they may be homeless, but they got everything else, And I guess how I'm going to start is I was talking to a homeless man on the street and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, my phone started ringing, and I was a little bit embarrassed. We were kind of deep in the conversation, and I was getting a story of how he became homeless and his whole life and whatnot like that. And it was kind of sad. And then so I'm fishing around to try to shut the ringer off, and all of a sudden he was like, "Oh, just a second." And he takes out his BlackBerry, a fucking homeless man. Anyway, I found that kind of funny. Homeless man, add to BlackBerry homeless guy. Okay, an entrepreneur and great at guilting. So another time, fast forward a few years past, which was about a year ago. Again, I was in Halifax, I think, with my older son, and we were outside, and we were on the corner of a busy section at our hotel, and there was a couple of homeless men there, homeless guys, and they were working the corner, but they were really good. Like I call them entrepreneurs, because they were doing a lot of making eye contact. They had the smile, right? They were kind of down and looking, and some guys, when you don't give them money or they carry on, like, they're like, grunt and carry on. But these guys, okay, thanks, no problem. It's almost like guilting you in a nice way. Like these guys are really very good. And, so they're even kind of probably communicating, got these signals back and forth of, this third car up here, the white one on the left, they look like they're going to give some good money. It's almost like back in the day when you're a delivery driver, which place tips better. You can just kind of read those people. But these homeless guys, it's not maybe what you see on TV. Some of them are doing pretty darn good, right? Yeah, they go back and they rip off their old clothes, and they're done to their shift, walking off in their car, probably counting their stacks of money. Anyway, so that's part of that. I might add on to that. Here's one. Actually, I'll probably wrap it up. We'll see what time we get. Yeah, I'm blathering on a little bit more than I thought. I guess maybe I'm getting a little bit more comfortable of this. I was in line at the rink or something, I think it was last year, and this lady was in front of me. Again, this stuff just pops into our head, right, of how we can elaborate on it or how we can relate it so other people might think it was funny, people who don't have the same weird thoughts that I do or we do as comedians. She was standing in line, she said, "I will have a small hot chocolate," and looking at the menu and stuff, "and another small hot chocolate, which is fine. And I'm like thinking, no, but why didn't she say 2 small hot chocolate? Because she had 3 kids with her. And he said, and another small hot chocolate. And she did it again. Another small hot chocolate. What the fuck? Could have just said 4 small hot chocolate. Anyway, those are the kind of just, I guess, stupid little things. Maybe they're stupid. I don't know if they're stupid. I find them funny. That I and maybe some other people will find funny. So those are the kind of stuff. That one might be an added into something else because I don't know how much more I can elaborate on that. But I just find that some stuff like that funny. I have a book here that I've written. This looks like one of my first times getting on stage of the whole bit. Anyway, maybe that might be it. I think that's, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I talked a little bit more than I actually thought I would. Like I said, I didn't know, and I didn't know if it would go this far, and I didn't rehearse anything. I said, fuck it, I'm just going to say, and maybe hopefully do this comedy process, and it might be neat for some people to watch, or for me to watch, look back, or they get me kind of motivated to get up on stage, because I just enjoy doing it. I think it's fun. And anyway, so yeah, so I guess if you are watching this at this point, then I guess it is a go-ahead. That if not, then I guess I just did this all for myself, which is fine, because I kind of had fun doing this, kind of reminiscing, thinking about a few other things too. Rented some porn, got a case of beer and wine. You know, sometimes people go through dry spells. I'm just kind of reading stuff that I've written in the past, but, oh yeah. I don't know why, but I think cock's funny. The word cock is funny in a lot of my material. Not a lot, but it just seems everything, there's a few little tidbits, but because here's another one. I don't even remember writing this, so this is a long time ago. So this is what I have written down. It must have been probably a conversation between me and a buddy, right? And this is probably how it went somehow. Well, let's say that's how it went. So he said, I guess, would you suck a famous guy's cock to screw Jessica Alba? Clean cock or dirty cock? Maybe. That's not the funny part. And then, or no, maybe I asked him that, and he said, I would fuck a famous guy's cock just to suck a famous guy's cock. He's not gay either, that's why it's kind of funny. You know, just to say, hey, fuck this famous guy's cock. I don't need to get to Jessica Alba. Who was that said that? Anyway. Must have been Miniature Horsecock that said it. Yeah, that's who it was. Well. Alright, anyway. So, good. I hope I have a little bit more to go on. And like I said, hopefully I'll do this quickly. Sooner than later, or a couple months maybe. But hopefully the nerves don't get in the way. I'll watch this and see where it goes. Alright. Hopefully see you later.